Falava. My name's Leotawa Dr. John Peterson. I'm with TE2 Edge Sports Cards. You can find us on the web, TE2Consulting.com. You can also find us on eBay at RJP2532. And we also have cards on my slabs as well. Occasionally do PWCC. If you haven't had a chance to hit the subscribe button, I sure do appreciate it if you, for those who have done that, and if you would be willing to do that. And definitely like and or comment on the video. I'm doing my best to get back to people, and I've had a few comments, which is great. I think we're close to around 35, 40 subscribers, and sure do appreciate people subscribing and watching the channel. I just want to give a big shout out to a number of the content creators out on YouTube. I've learned a ton in the last 4 or 5 months watching YouTube, whether it's been Sports Card Anonymous, Chris Sewell, uh, Sports Cards Investor. Cajun Cardboard more recently. There's been so much good content coming out. Neo, of course. People have watched a lot of those different programs over the last few months and years. I have to say that the content is really sharp, and it's different. Each channel has its own kind of vibe and covers the content in a different way. From a hobby perspective, whether it's from a collector perspective or a dealer perspective or an investor perspective. But I really appreciate it. It's been a really good learning experience. I've got a doctorate degree and a master's degree, and I know that you have to learn every day. And when you're doing something new, even though I've been doing cards for 30, 40 years, the business aspect of it has been relatively new for me. You have to do your homework, and you definitely have to put the time in to study and research and listen and learn from others. A couple things that are just on my mind that I thought I would share tonight. One is the somewhat recent news that eBay will now be doing authenticating of graded cards through PSA. A number of folks have commented on this. I just finished up watching Cajun Cardboard's most recent video. I thought it was 100% spot on. I think eBay is making a critical error. People are not going to like this, and when the fees start piling up, however small they might be, to pay for this ridiculous service, it's not going to be good for eBay, and it's not going to be good for people in the hobby. At least not for folks who use eBay on any sort of regular basis, which I'm a person who does. I don't typically buy a lot on eBay, but I do use eBay as a seller's platform. And there's all sorts of different issues with the language that's on the eBay website regarding this move. And frankly, I don't think it's going to address the problem. I don't think it's going to do a damn bit of good to address the problem. The problem is a different problem than what eBay's potential solutions are that are going to try and solve it. It's just not going to work, and it's going to upset people. And I think it could potentially drive people away from using eBay as a platform to buy and sell. With that said, I think that there is an issue with authentication, and that issue, as Sports Card Anonymous recently said in a video, just in the last probably 10 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, I'm not sure, the issues with PSA and the grading companies. The fact that they're not spending the amount of time that they should be spending actually looking at the cards, determining if the cards are authentic or not, determining if they've been tampered with, trimmed, pressed, whatever it might be, if they're fake cards, if they're counterfeit. I think the responsibility lay with the grading companies, the people doing the grading. The fact that eBay's now partnering with PSA to review the authenticity of graded cards from like BGS and CSG and SGC, I think is ridiculous. There are people that haven't gotten their cards in like over a year from PSA. I'm still waiting on a submission from back in January, February, and that's not even close to what other people have experienced who are still waiting 16, 17 months for their cards to come back. So PSA has money and time to do this authentication with eBay. It's a joke, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not anti-PSA, but I'm definitely more pro-CSG than I am PSA. I think you have to do what works for you. in terms of your business, your investing, your collecting. So I'll never cast any shade on anybody who uses SGC or even HGA for that matter, which I personally wouldn't go with. But you do what you got to do. Do you? Um, but this business of PSA having a significant backlog, still charging people $50 for value, that's ridiculous. Get through your backlog, return the cards that people have submitted this year, and then enter into a new arrangement and agreement with eBay. This is a joke. I don't like it one bit. And it's all the more reason why I'm thinking that I'm going to be using my slabs as a buyer or seller platform on an even more frequent basis than I have been. There's issues with my slabs, just like there is with any platform. But I think the interface is relatively straightforward for listing your cards. There's no auction. Yeah, there is some risk, but I don't even deal with the raw cards on my slabs, even though you can. I don't deal with the wax either, but you certainly could. I've got a case currently for sale right now on my slabs. But the thing about my slabs is that if there's any funny business, they kick you off. Like if you don't ship your stuff out and upload a tracking number after you sell a card within 24 hours, they reserve the right to kick you off the platform. It's not like eBay where they have, all these rules but no accountability, no teeth, right? In eBay, you can do damn near anything you want to do. If you buy a card and you don't like it, you can have it sent back, and the person who sold it has to just deal with it. Or if I list a card and sell it for $250 and you decide you don't want to pay, you're off the hook. That type of a system is never a good system. It's too enabling on eBay, in my opinion. And if I'm going to pay 13% fees to use the platform, I expect a certain level of service in terms of the quality. Right now, I don't think eBay's hitting it. I know PSA is not hitting it. Now, I know that PSA is the dominant grading company and has been for like 20 years, along with BGS. But watch out for CSG, folks. I'm telling you, CSG, $12 a slab. If you're a member, you pay the membership fee, the annual membership fee, they cut a percentage off. I think I get my cards graded for like $10 a card. And I have to submit, I think, 50 cards minimum. But 50 cards, that's $500 for 50 cards in great slabs. What I do is I put them in a CSG slabs, and I put them up on my slabs, and then when I want to sell them, if they're not selling on my slabs, then I sell them on eBay and drop them in and take the for sale off of what's going on with my slabs, and because I definitely don't want to sell them on both platforms. So I've got high-end PSA stuff that's currently in the chute right now with PSA. And I don't regret having that go to PSA and paying the $50, but I'm going to be a little more circumspect with what I send over to PSA. I'm hearing rumors that they're spending less than a minute grading each card. How can you grade like a $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 vintage card, like a 1956 Topps Roberto Clemente? How can you grade that in less than a minute? Give me a break. I can't even do that, and it's my card, and I know the card because I've looked at it. So minimally, you got to hold the card, you got to take it out of the plastic, you got to look at it, you've got to get a 10 times magnifier, a jewel, look at the corners, and look at the corners carefully. Check out the centering, look at the edges. You got to run the jewel along the sides of every single edge, and then you got to flip it over and do the same thing on the back, right? So it's not a 30 to 45 second process. And honestly, I don't know how much time PSA spends on grading their cards. I can bet you that CSG spends more than 30 seconds grading their cards because it's certified sports guarantee. So you're getting a card slabbed. Now, if CSG has a bunch of cards that get slabbed that are counterfeit or trimmed, that's going to not look good on CSG. I haven't heard of that yet, and I hope that it doesn't happen. But right now, credibility and integrity are at a premium here in the hobby. And PSA and eBay, I'm not super impressed. Really not impressed. And I agree with pretty much everything that people have been saying over the last, few days, 4 days, 5 days, what have you. There's too much hanky-panky, as one of the content creators likes to say. I don't use that word too much, hanky panky, but I call it funny business, BS, you know, a certain type of behavior that is below bar and not hitting a standard. So I think PSA better watch it. I think eBay better watch it. I do think that they've done good things for the hobby overall over the years. But if they're not careful, CSG is going to come up and take the lead. I already think that CSG slabs are the best slabs out there. Um, and I think there's a reason why they're authenticating raw cards. Now, raw cards, I can see why they need to be authenticated. I don't think they need to be authenticated down to $250. I think if you're buying a raw card for $250 or less, or even $300, that's on you. You have to take a look at the card. Sometimes when I post raw cards on eBay, I don't post a whole lot of information. I just post the year of the card, the manufacturer, the manufacturer organization that printed the card. I put the number of the card. I put the name of the player and maybe their team, and that's it. And sometimes I get people that email me or send me messages on eBay and say things like, well, are there any creases or this or that? Yo, do your due diligence. Look, hover over the image, zoom in on the image, look and see if there is anything that would be a cause for concern with you buying that raw card. Otherwise, you're on your own. When I go to a show, I don't sit there and ask the dealer, well, tell me where the creases are in this card. What a joke. People would laugh at me. They'd laugh me right out of the show. You got to do your due diligence. And if you're not doing your due diligence, that's not my problem. So a $500 card, yeah, I guess so. But again, if you're not confident with your own skills to determine the condition of a card that's raw, you probably shouldn't be spending $500 on it anyway. I mean, frankly, I don't really buy raw cards on eBay or online for $300, $400, $500. I know people that do. More power to you. I'm guessing those people that do and who are successful in flipping those cards or PCing those cards are folks who take the time to do their due diligence. They look at the card, and if they think that they don't have enough photos, they email the person and say, can you shoot me a couple more photos? Which is totally appropriate to ask for. But I'm not going to sit there and describe every little single wrinkle or crease or defect or fisheye or print mark or diamond cut. I mean, if you can't tell that a card is diamond cut, you probably shouldn't be buying it if you don't know what it is. So I'm not trying to be negative or anything. I generally keep these videos pretty positive, but I'm just kind of like feeling the rant a little bit tonight with all this, up in arms about card trimming and, we got to authenticate every single card. And honestly, it's just mucking up the works, and it's not a good thing for the hobby. And it's definitely not a way that I want to do business. So my word of advice would be continue to do what works for you. If it stops working for you, come up with a different plan. I'm not banking on PSA. I'm putting, if I had 12 eggs, I'm putting 7, 8, 9 of my eggs in the CSG basket. And I'm putting another 3 or 4 in the PSA basket. I don't really do much with SGC, which I've stated. I don't really do much with BGS, which I've also stated. Nothing against those two. I don't touch HGA. I don't even know what's going on with HGA, honestly. I don't even know who the company is that now owns them. So I'm not touching HGA with the 10-foot pole. I might buy HGA slabs that are depressed and get them cracked out and then send them over to CSG and have them regraded for $10. I might buy like 10 HGA slabs and cross them over to CSG, but I'm not going to cross them over to PSA. Six crossovers, that's $300. No, man, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that. I'd rather do 6 cards for $60 than 6 cards for $300. So I guess from a CSG perspective, man, the longer PSA takes to get through their backlog and get their stuff together, the better. Because CSG is just getting more followers and more followers and more followers. And don't forget, their slab's the best slab out there. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Hold an SGC, a BGS, an HGA, a CSG, and a PSA slab in your hands. And you come back and tell me, show them to a person who you don't even know, who doesn't even know the industry, who's just a stranger to you, who doesn't know the industry, and ask 10 people which slab they like the best. And I'd be willing to bet you that 80 to 90% of those people are going to say, well, it's the CSG slab. It's the clearest. It's got the most durable feel. It feels durable. And it doesn't feel like it can be snapped and broken in like 2 seconds. I mean, some of those slabs, my goodness, I could crack it with my 2 hands practically. And I'm not going to say which ones I feel that way about, but I think you know which ones I'm talking about. So anyway, I don't typically do these types of videos, but and if you agree, great. Put it in the comments. If you disagree, that's fine. Put that in the comments too. We can have a dialogue about that. But more than anything, be aware of what's happening in the hobby. Be up to speed. Watch the YouTube content creators that have been doing it for a while. People can say what they want about Jeff Wilson. The guy's got 150 some thousand followers, subscribers. That's pretty good. Chris Sewell has over 50,000 subscribers. That's really good. Even Sports Card Anonymous has 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I've got 35. So who am I to say that they're right or wrong? Once you put in the work and once you get the information and you get the, you put the work in and do the videos and put the content up there, then you can say more. But for me, I hope you have a good night from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Peace out. One love.